Not too long ago, I had the opportunity to attend the Fighting Pistol with James Yeager class at Tactical Response up in Camden, Tennessee. And this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class, what to expect if you decide to take it, and why I think, by the way, it's a really good idea that you do. So that's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So as I said a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend the Fighting Pistol with James Yeager class at Tactical Response in Camden, Tennessee. And as you can see, I've got my alumni shirt on. Woohoo! So I made it. I survived. And I really enjoyed it, and I really think it was a very valuable experience in my life. So what I thought I'd do with this video is, if you're considering taking that class, which by the way I highly recommend, to kind of give you my take, details on what to expect. There's information on the website about what to bring in, kind of what to expect, but I thought I would give you the regular guy, real world viewpoint from somebody that's never been there before. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'm not really a tactical guy. I don't have much experience in that background. I'm not military or law enforcement or anything, so I wasn't sure if I was going to fit in, if I was going to feel comfortable there, or anything else, to be honest with you. So anyway, I thought it might be helpful to you to maybe learn a little bit about that, hear my experience and kind of the details of my viewpoints, and give you maybe a little bit of some stuff you might not find out on his website. So a real quick little background. I met James at a YouTube event in Atlanta a couple of months ago maybe. And I really didn't know what to expect when I was invited to this event. I was kind of surprised I got invited at all. And I honestly was expecting a bunch of makeup channels and gamers. And I don't play video games and know nothing about makeup, so I didn't really know who I was going to talk to or anything else. I walked in the room and I saw James sitting back there. I thought, hey man, I don't know him, but I know who he is, and I know, I can probably talk to him about stuff. So I sat at his table. He invited me to sit down with him, and he turned out to be a really nice, in my opinion, very nice, very knowledgeable guy, super friendly. And he invited me and everybody else there too, by the way, to come to take one of his classes as his guest. So I took him up on his offer. It was really great. It was a great weekend. So that being said, let's just cut straight to the chase. We'll talk about the class. So the class I took was the Fighting Pistol with James Yeager. Now the normal tuition for that class is $600, and that's and they have a regular fighting pistol that's $500. I guess it doesn't include James. If you can, I'd pay the extra $100, and just because James is James, and you get a viewpoint there that maybe you might not get from anybody else in the whole world. So I'll say it that way. By the way, we'll say this too, just to get straight up front. This is I keep everything kind of PG rated here, or G rated, try to on my channel. Well, just if you go there, if you've seen James's videos, you know what to expect. We'll call the language PG-13 there, okay? So just bear that in mind if you decide to do that. Don't be surprised, don't be shocked, and don't get your feelings hurt because you heard some bad words, or what you may consider bad words, because I'd rather hear bad words than get shot by a bad guy, right? So there's that, and I survived it. Guess what? I'm still okay, and I think Jesus still loves me. So, as a matter of fact, I know he does. Okay, so let's cut back to the chase. I've got a syllabus here, by the way, because that's something I learned from James, and I really like that. He had a syllabus for his class. He went by it. He wasn't just winging it. It's not, so you're going to get consistent training if you go to one of his classes. Not only did he have a syllabus, but he had other instructors there, and they had to stick to the syllabus. There wasn't any of this going back and forth, rambling around, and like I'm doing right now. There was a syllabus. And one more little rambling thing, and I'll get to my syllabus. One thing I really liked was there was a couple of classroom sessions, right? And if you've ever sat in one of those sessions, you know that sometimes there's that one guy, usually it's a guy for whatever reason, but usually there's that one guy who's just got to tell you every detail of every story, and just got to interject he's just got to make sure that he is a contributor to the experience, to put it that way. And James don't play that, okay, which I like, because what happens a lot of times is, instead of getting what's on the syllabus, you get what somebody else has got, their life experiences, and that's not what you're paying for, okay? So I'm giving James a lot of credit for that. He's said it right up front, we're not doing that. If you got a question, we'll save it and we'll ask a question. We don't want to hear life stories. We don't want to hear anecdotes. That's not what we're here for, because he don't want to waste everybody's time. And I really really respect that, because that just really allows you to get what you need to get without a bunch of time wasting. And by the way, if you think, man, I don't see what's wrong with that, I don't, you're probably that guy. Okay, so now I'm gonna stick to the syllabus now. Okay, so it's a 2-day class. First of all, the fighting pistol class is the one I took was on a Saturday and a Sunday. If you're one of the first 12 people, I think it may be 15, but I think it's 12, one of the first people to get registered for that time slot. And they have different classes, they have multiple classes going at one time. They were having a shotgun class at the same time, concurrently when I was, concurrently at the same time. That's like redundant over and over, isn't it? They were having a shotgun class. So anyway, if you're one of the first 12 to 15 people, whatever the number is, that register, you can request to be in the team room, and which is really cool, because first of all, you don't have to pay anything for that. Okay, the team room is in the basement of James's house, and they got bunks set up, and they got bathrooms, and they got a refrigerator, they got a TV with all kinds of movies, and they got books. You know, I mean, it's a great experience. Plus, you kind of get to hang out with people and interact with the people that are. A lot of them have already been there. A lot of people go back to take multiple classes from James, which to me speaks highly of his training, because if it wasn't worth a while, they wouldn't come back, right? So I was fortunate enough to get to stay in the team room. I wasn't sure what to expect. So I'll just tell you a little bit about it. When I drove up, you know, you got the address on the website there, and I drove up, and I'm in a neighborhood, and there's a house, and there's some, you know, kids. Looks like there's kids live here. There's some playground stuff out there. There's kids' toys, and I'm like, you know, Texas, this is your house? Yeah. So pull down the gravel drive beside it, and you know, it's like it's in a neighborhood, and there's a little parking lot behind it, and the team room's downstairs. So it was I mean, it really is just like you're staying in his home, which is pretty cool. So you know, I got there on Friday night and just kind of hung out, went to bed, got up 6 in the morning, went and had breakfast. I think it's a place called a family restaurant. It was really good. I mean, you can have a really good breakfast for like $3 or $4. The service was really good. You know, it was a good place to go. Then at 8 a.m. the next morning, we went to the tactical response office for a classroom session, and kind of introduced, James kind of introduced us to the concepts we'd be studying, what we'd be learning, and some good mindset stuff. You know, his philosophy is that the 4 priorities of survival are a mindset, tactical, skills, and gear. So, and that's your way of thinking. And I can tell you that I've talked to so many people that are survival experts in so many fields, and I always ask them what's the number one thing that's important, and above and beyond, everybody says it's mindset. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Anyway, so we had that. We had our morning kind of a classroom session there, and we broke probably about 10 or 10:30, I think, the first day, and drove to the range, which was about 20 minutes away. Went to the Birdsong Range, and to tell you what to expect there. First of all, you bring your own lunch there, so bring a cooler, bring a lunch or whatever. Depending upon what time of the year it is, there's not a lot of shade there. It can be really, really hot. I had one guy tell me he brings one of those little pop-up canopies when he comes in the summertime, which is probably a good idea, because there's not a lot of shade depending on where the sun is. There is just for a couple of hours in the morning maybe. But you bring that, or bring a beach umbrella or something you can create a little shade in. You know, there's benches and tables and stuff to do your prep on, but there's not a lot of shade. Bring a lot of water with you. They recommend a Camelback, but I just brought water bottles. Anyway, again, they had a syllabus, and the first day we started with the very basics of how to draw from concealment, because this is a practical class. This is not standing in front of paper and punching holes. I mean, you're going to punch a bunch of holes, but James says to train like you carry. So, I mean, I was using the same holster, which in this case is my hog holster, that I use every day, and carrying concealed just like I normally do. And so we learned to draw from concealment, the step by step, and just work over every detail, every step of the process in detail until you got it down. Worked on our grip, which if you saw my other video, you know that I still need to work on my grip. Worked on how to grip the pistol, how to fire the pistol, how to maintain accuracy and maintain control of recoil, just step by step by step by step, all the way up to the end of the day when we were doing moving drills while we're shooting while moving. Very, very, very methodical approach, though, to just developing the muscle memory and the skills to consistently repeat those same actions, and just get them drilled into your brain. which I think was really, really important. So anyway, at the end of that day, we went back. We all had dinner. Some of us had dinner at a restaurant in town, and then went back to Tactical Response for an informal Q&A session, which was pretty interesting too, because that's when you could say, well, that's when, if you're that guy, you got a chance to talk for a minute. Okay. Anyway, back to the team room. And if you don't make it to the team room, by the way, there are several hotels in Camden, and it's not like in the middle of nowhere, although it is a small city. They even got a Walmart, okay? So, got up next morning, went to breakfast, and then we went back to Tactical Response for a lecture, another lecture, which I think, honestly, for me, was worth the drive up there and back, if nothing else. It was really not just about mindset. James really spent a lot into, when James did the lecture, by the way, he went a lot into the psychology of what you might have to deal with if you do have to shoot somebody, and what maybe the hesitancy you might have that could cost you or your loved one your life, and how to overcome that, and it was really, really valuable. And James gives you a workbook, by the way, that you get a workbook with a class so that you could you don't have to take all these notes down, all that information in there. You can go back and study it, which is really, really good too. So anyway, then after the lecture, we went back to the range, and we did a whole lot of stuff. We're firing from the ground. We got dirty. If you don't think you can get, if you're not willing to get dirty, don't go to this class, okay? Because you're going to get dirty. But just some stuff I'd never done before. I never fired from some of the positions before. One thing I'll tell you we did was really an eye-opener to me, firing from retention, which means basically, if you got somebody in your face at bad breath distance, as James calls it, then you got your pistol here, maybe you're firing. So we're right up against, literally like this, against the target, and you got a gun right here, and all of a sudden you go bang, bang, bang. Now there's a backstop behind you, but if you've never fired a firearm with it that close to your face, and the shock, it really was different. It's not like this, okay? It's you can really feel the shock. But if you've never done that before, it's good to get acclimated to that, right? Just so you're not freaking yourself out. We're going to talk in some other videos about some of the drills we went through, and one of the things I really like about this, and I'm going to wrap this up in just a minute. One of the things I really like about the class was so much of what we learned. So many of the drills, the live fire drills that we did, can actually be done without live ammo. With snap caps or dry firing type equipment, you can really practice and really groove those muscle memories and those moves, and for free in your home if you do it safely. And I've got another video I'm going to do that's going to show you a piece of gear that I bought that really makes dry practice or dry firing. James calls it dry practice. It really makes it a lot safer. Just in case for everybody, but we'll talk about that in another video. Anyway, so a lot of those drills you can bring them home, which is what's really good to me. And finally, we finished up with a drill that I will never forget. And I can't talk about it because I promised I wouldn't, so I'm sworn to secrecy on that one, but it is something that will be with me for the rest of my life, and I think it was very, very important. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So bottom line, end of the day, pros and cons. I'm trying to think if there's any cons. It was hot, and the weather, I really can't think of any. But as far as the firearms training goes, man, it was absolutely jam up, slamming, excellent. James's instructors are passionate. They really, really care about what they're doing, and sometimes that caring comes across as them screaming at you to do something the right way. And the reason they're doing that is because they want to make sure that if you leave their class, and you need to use your firearm to protect yourself or your family, that you are able to do so. That it is in your brain, that you got it. They're not just. It was very, very apparent to me. They're not just there to draw a paycheck. They're not just there to fill their time or to run you through the class. They really and truly, everybody there really and truly cares about making sure that you are prepared to defend your family and yourself. And I'm telling you, that was absolutely a thread that was just woven through everything that happened all weekend, and I completely 100% got it. Now James he's got a different sense of humor. And he likes to give people a hard time, but he jokes a lot, but he jokes like he jokes like James Yeager. That's what he jokes like. But he's a great guy. And then Don and David, who are the instructors there, they great guys. They really are just so passionate about making sure that you leave there with more ready and more able to defend yourself and your family than you came, as to the highest level possible. And I want to say thanks to, by the way, to Brian, who was an unofficial instructor there. I believe he's a New York state patroller, whatever they call him, state whatever, policeman. But he was really helpful to me. He was down there, he's an alumni, and he was down there. He just kind of jumped in, was helping with some of the training. Really helpful to me as far as my trigger reset and my grip. You know, Brian, thanks a lot if you're watching this. So anyway, I think I probably rambled enough about the class. I highly recommend the fighting pistol with James Yeager at Tactical Response. It really was it was a life-changing weekend for me. It really was, and I've been carrying a pistol for a long time. But what I really learned most of all was what I need to learn, how much I still need to learn, how much I need to work on it, and things that I can do to accomplish that. Actionable things I can practice and do now that I can do on my own to improve my ability to defend myself and my family, and I think with a firearm. And I think that is absolutely, it's priceless. It really is. It could be priceless. So anyway, first of all, once again, thanks to James Yeager and the folks at Tactical Response for inviting me up there to take the fighting pistol class. And again, if you get a chance, I highly recommend it. Just, by the way, one more thing and I'll shut up, okay? Somebody commented on my video, and apparently I hurt their feelings that you know, regular folks can't afford that. And you know, maybe I was callous, I don't know. I said, look, you know what? I understand that some people can't, but a lot of regular folks that I know, and I used to be one of these and still am to a certain extent, that can't afford this or can't afford that, still manage to afford to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, or drink beer every day, or drink soft drinks, or do other things. So sometimes it's about choices. I would say if there's any possible way that you can figure out a way to budget, and you know what, they even have a layaway plan now to get on to take their classes. They think it's that important. If there's any possible way you can do it, I highly recommend it, because it will be money well spent, and it will be time well spent, and you will walk away feeling more confident, not just more confident, but you will be more competent in your ability to defend your family, yourself, and others. So anyway, I'll stop now. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, and very often random videos throughout the week. There's one right there. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please click down there and do it. I'd really appreciate it. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared. I'll see you next time.